Hello. Have decided to create a little video to show you some of the great features of Padlet rather than do a million screenshots. I have followed the instructions in the PowerPoint up till now and have created an account, and I'm logged into that account and at my dashboard. So I just wanted to show you what that would look like. There's several options you can do from here. Make a Padlet we'll do in a second. Join a Padlet, so that would be like if somebody else created one and you want to join it to be able to post on. Um, you would click on this link and paste the URL that they give you right there. And then gallery gives you, if you look at that, it gives you you can follow these boards, but it basically gives you inspiration for examples, and also you can remake some of these as templates. So I'll let you explore that. And then you have several options here along the side as well. I'm not going to go through every one of those just for sake of time. But what I am going to do is make a Padlet. Let me show you what one looks like first. Now, the thing that I love about Padlet is that it's a really great, quick and easy way to allow your students to have some active learning and to really be participating in your discussion. So here's one that I created for a workshop that I did with teachers. And whoops. And these are my instructions. So I posted that and gave them instructions. And they were supposed to explain it and then put a link in there. And I love that. This is the only person, not the only, but one of them followed the directions. And then I can click on these links and it'll take me right to those web pages. So these are ones that the learners posted to this. So that's what it looks like. So let's go in and make a Padlet. If I choose make a Padlet, it's going to give me several choices of things that I can make. And again, it depends on it really depends on what you want to do. And then there's also some templates down here for things that you may already that you might want to use. Most of the time I just used these. The one that we just looked at was a wall. That's the one I used the majority of the time, but I also used back channel quite often because that's more like a conversation, like chatting. And so I really liked that, but it tells you what each of these things are. So we're just going to go ahead and choose wall. And it automatically comes up with a background and a title, but you can change all of that stuff. So I might change the title to say that this is a test, and of course you could change the description. The wallpaper, again, it just randomly chooses one. I'm going to choose thanks teachers, or you'll notice that you can add your own as well. So you could put a picture or whatever you wanted back there. And then you can play with all kinds of things like the color and the font style. This part is pretty important. So you can turn this on or off and require students to put a name for their post. You'll notice that on the board that I showed you, this was not on, that those did not have a name. And I did both in my classroom. I saw advantages and disadvantages of both. Sometimes I found that if I didn't make them put their name, some of those students who were shy and weren't always willing to speak out or didn't always participate in class were more willing to do so because they didn't have to put their name on it. But again, you run the risk of then not knowing who did it. So you can change that and make it be that they have to put their name. And then I love this one. There's a profanity filter. So if you're worried that, especially if you're using this with students, that they might put in bad words, it'll replace it with an emoji. And then you can turn these on or off. So comments would allow the users to comment on each other's posts. And same thing with reactions. So it would allow them to like it, to give it a vote, to star, or give a score to the post. So it depends on what you want to be able to do and want to allow your class to do, and you can have control over all of that stuff. And then this is your URL for this Padlet. So then if I click on next here, I want to talk about some of these are my privacy settings. And so you have 4 levels of privacy that you can choose. There's private, which means that only the people that you add can view this. And that is not a great one for a classroom setting because you would have to go in and type each of their names here. An email address or a username. I taught 5th grade, so I didn't use that. Password protected is another one where you get to type in what you want the password to be, and then you would give that password along with the URL to the users, and then they would have to type in that password to access it. Secret, though, is what I used in my classroom. So this would be anybody that has the link or the QR code can get into your Padlet, but it wouldn't show up like in a Google search or in any of those public areas where you can search for other Padlets. And then, of course, you can make any of them public. When I was working with students in a classroom, though, you can't make public, especially if you're using their name. And then you can change the permissions that the people that have access, they can you can make it so that they can just read it. They won't be able to post anything or add anything to it. You can make it so that they can read it and write it, or you can make it so that they're that they can view and add posts, edit, and approve other people's posts. So most of the time you just want can write. And then moderation is, again, up to you. This would, if you turn this on, it would require that you see and approve all posts before they're posted. So again, depending on what I was using that for in my classroom, I rarely turned that on. So you can set up all of that stuff, and then you just click on next, and it'll tell you you're all set. Go ahead and post. And I just want to show you the share settings because this is really one of the features that I love about this. If I click on that share, again, you can go in and change any of those privacy settings if you decided you wanted to change it later. But if you click on this share, export, embed, it gives you a QR code. And you can print that code off. So especially if you're teaching younger students or 5th graders, 5th graders cannot always copy and paste, and typing in that really long code is not always easy to do either. So I would just I didn't even print it. I would just project this on my screen and let them scan it to get them to my Padlet. But you can see that there's a variety of ways that you can share this. We can just copy the link and then you can paste it and send it out to users. So there's a bunch of different things that you can do to share this. This was by far the easiest for me with students. And then you saw what a Padlet looked like, and you can change a bunch of different things from here. You can end up printing off this Padlet if you wanted. So I clicked on the 3 dots. You can print it off. You can go through and change it. You can clear all of it. One of the things that you have control of also as the administrator is that you can delete any posts. So if students post something that is not, appropriate or that you didn't like, you can simply delete it. So those are the basic features of Padlet. If you're interested, and I will put a link to this at the end, I created a Padlet board for this class. And if you want to try it out and see what it looks like from the student perspective, I'll have the code in the PowerPoint, and you can join this class and you can post something on there.